Hi everyone, welcome to Hobby Hangout this week. Look at that beautiful windswept hair there, John.
I know. You've got a proper mop going on today.
Isn't it great? Yeah. Need a proper haircut today. How is everyone today? I hope that you're well and we've got a lot of community projects to look through. As always, if you have any community projects that you wish for us to have a look through, feel free to post it in the original Hobby Hangout post. What we'll do is we'll start off and have an actual look through that post and see if anything comes up. We've got one project in there so far. Unfortunately, Ben's sick today. He's not looking too good. You okay there, John?
I wasn't expecting whatever. Is that thing where people are like, I'm not sure if it's a human or a cat?
It's I'll give you a story of what this is. This is I'll bring it up in Photoshop as well, so people can actually see the proper high res of it. So this is like a medieval painting of what people's.
No, it's not. It's not working, Lance. You broke it.
It's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry.
There you go.
So this is a medieval painting from back in the day when they didn't have flash photography or anything.
Yeah.
So what painters had to do, because dogs you could train to sit still.
Yeah.
Same with horses. You know, horses were always kind of elegant and they'd stand still, but cats would never. So what they used to do, they used to paint cats with just human faces because they were so used to painting human faces that they just draw cats with human faces.
It's a particularly disturbing example of such art. Yeah, it's.
I mean, I think it's pretty appropriate for how Ben is feeling from what he told me today. So that's what we're going to do today. So thank you very much, Ben, for joining us.
In cat form.
Yeah,
in medieval cat form.
Moving on. We're going to be looking through this project here, which is by Lawner. It's identifying, updating, and painting a bucket of 90s era 40k orcs. So this has been going on for quite some time now, and he said in his post that it's coming to an almost close, or well, he's just been finishing up a few small projects. I say small, but these are great.
Quite a lot.
Something that struck my attention though is this giant T-Rex in the middle of it all. That seems like a pretty epic scenario.
I need to buy Laura one of those, whatever they are. Because if she sees this, she'll be like, "Yeah, you have to buy me that. That's my Christmas present." I'm like, okay.
I like how just disregarding the minis for a second, but I like how you can just move this by any part of the body. That's quite an interesting toy. But we'll have a look at these minis because some of these are epic looking. A lot of attention to detail on these, and for such quite old models, he's adapted a very new paint scheme to them. Very nice indeed. We'll see some close-ups here.
Oh, these are just great. These really are nice.
You can just getting the pupils and the eyes. Very good. Awesome work. I particularly like this guy here. I don't know what gun he's wielding. Looks like a giant fan.
It's a big Zappa thing.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat will be able to tell us. But I still can't go for that bad image. I looked back at the screen and went, "Oh no."
You think
Orc shock attack gun? There you go. Jerry has us covered, as always.
Shock attack gun? Yeah. It's very, very cool. I like the paint scheme because the blue and the yellow contrast quite nicely.
Yep.
Very nice.
Although if you're talking about high contrast, let's have a look at the pirate.
Yes.
Did you look at him? I'm not a fan of the old school minis, but when you see them painted really well, it doesn't matter to me so much because that coat is just fantastic. That jacket wins everything for me.
What I quite like is he's gone into, he's highlighted some parts of the faces and stuff. Particularly on the sword, you'll see the highlights on the sword in this one. If I bring it into Photoshop, you can see Ben's face there. So cute. I'll bring it over to this one here. You can see the shading on the sword. but he's kept like highlighting off the. Doesn't seem to like he's highlighted around this here so much, but I think that's kind of cool. Like he's kind of kept it all like very solid colors.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been very specific with his highlights and shading, I think.
I think he's putting highlights where it really matters, like the areas that you're going to be really focusing on.
Some of the vehicles. We've been looking at quite a bit at the Speed Freak stuff now, and I agree that a lot of the Speed Freak stuff it looks fast now. It looks more like safer. And then Warren, he was saying that he prefers the more like choppy square things and jagged edges, but I think I actually really like the new models they've come out with.
What confuses me about Speed Freaks is that Orcs had the thought process to go, do you know what this vehicle needs? It needs a roll bar in case I crash. It's like, no, you wouldn't consider that as an Orc at all. You'd be like, if I crash and if I die, that's friggin' great. Yeah. That's how Orcs think.
And then it goes into more detail on how to base the Orcs, how he's went through that process and stuff. Really nice work on this project so far. A lot of details in this. I haven't read very much through this, but awesome work. And I love the photography of how he's shown each model and the mech with shock attack done. How does anyone carry that thing? It's like a reverse bicycle.
They're Orcs. They can carry anything if they believe it.
If they believe it, it becomes true.
Yeah.
It's the one thing I took away from what was it, 40k Uncharted?
Yeah. If they believe it'll work, it'll work.
I like this comical expression. What's that holding? It looks like it's a little like stress ball kind of thing.
It's like a 40k equivalent of a rubber chicken.
Yeah. Very cool.
He looks amazingly happy though.
Orc vehicles should always be open top. How could you shout out properly?
Exactly.
More Orc boys. Very nice. Awesome stuff.
It's the hilt of a knife,
Loner.
apparently, Pun Dancer says.
The hilt of a knife.
Yeah, but it just looks incredibly.
Oh right, yeah.
It just looks like a big smiley face ball.
So next we're going to have a look at this War Master Revolution 10mm fantasy ogres and lizard men from Nodri. I wanted to look at this specifically because there's some of the models in this are quite old and comical.
Yep.
I love this expression of like, because all this just kind of reminds me of is that animation of the nude character model walking down the street
that people keep reanimating into doing various weird things. Yeah.
But some of these they're kind of older sculpts, but they're very comical. It has that Ark World feel.
Yeah.
To me, and I'm sure Ben he would be talking about away at Ark World and how it relates. But I think that's really what it looks like. I don't understand the thought process in zombies that they have to always put their arms up. Surely if they're chasing something, it would be in front, not up high.
Maybe they're just trying to not be Thriller.
Maybe. You don't think that they are old sculpts? They have maybe they're new sculpts, but they have that like old
vintage style.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're really cool in their own right.
Mm-hmm.
And they're about the size of your fingernail. Fair point then, so they're tiny as well.
Very nice. They've got a lot of character for all the sides of them. Like, I can't imagine sculpting that would be easy. This here was an image that I wanted to like point out. Look how daunting that pile is.
Yeah.
And then these little goblins. I thought these were pretty cute.
I would hate to be the guy that was sculpting the goblins. It's like, okay, I've just finished like the big zombies and stuff. Now I have to make goblins. It's like the tiniest ball of green stuff that you've got. It's just
do you think maybe they finished the trolls and the zombie things, and then they had a little bit of green stuff left over, and they thought, what can I make out of this?
An entire army of goblins, yeah.
I've got this tiny roll of green stuff left. What can I do with this? Cool. Very cool. Very interesting as well. I can't wait to see the elephant painted up.
Mammoths.
War.
Justin's
War
arch
mammoth.
nemesis.
I still don't fully know the story of this mammoth thing.
I don't either.
Moving on, we've got Halo 3, Halo Spartans and ODST. Soldiers in 40k kill team. This is going to be interesting because this brought a lot of memories back for me. I used to play a lot of Halo back in college, and so he's 3D printing all of these. Got some bases. I think they work quite well. I think they'd be quite interesting in Fallout as well. If maybe not green armor, but maybe like the bluish tint, or maybe even the white armor or something.
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of cool to see.
It's interesting. Did he get the 3D sculpts from somewhere before he printed them, or?
I would assume you maybe take the models from the game, if you're savvy enough. There's a tabletop war game that's been unfortunately discontinued. It was created by the company that no longer exists, called Spartan Games.
Yep.
Just a Halo game. Just find a group to discuss. I think he's just fine. Like, sourced these models, and now he's creating his own rules for Kill Team. It's a shame that the Halo miniatures game didn't take off, because I think it was maybe in a wrong era.
Yeah.
I think it was maybe released 10 years earlier. Because Halo's pretty much dead now. It's all about Destiny, isn't it? I think that's what they're currently working towards now, is Destiny. And it's a shame, because I really enjoyed Halo. So next up we have this Goku Fan Celestial Genesis thing. If I scroll down to the very bottom, sorry about the busyness here, this is what it looks like from the fan art. And this is not his paint. This is the box art paint.
Yeah.
So he's kind of, I think they're trying to like mimic this kind of paint scheme. So if we go up, you can kind of see. I think they're doing quite well.
It's a friggin' great go at it.
Like the amount of attention or the amount of work that's going into just blending the colors in this.
Yep.
Beautiful. Like look at that. That's very nice.
It all boils down to people having more patience than me. If I tried, maybe I could paint that. Probably not.
I think you've a lot of patience, John. You just don't have the time.
Well, yeah, there is a bit of
Sometimes.
that in it.
But the metalwork or whatever this is beautiful. The shading, beautiful, and it doesn't look like it's. I want to say like. It doesn't look like he's thinning this paint, because what it looks like is like an oil painting where he's just mixing layers and layers of. That's beautiful. And this here, the shadow in this, really nice work.
I mean, he's getting excellent results on this. Making me jealous.
Awesome stuff. So this is for Deep Madness. So we probably have one of these models lying.
We probably do, yeah. Happy little layers. It's all about the happy little layers.
Maybe Ben is a dwarven cat.
It does look kind of
I'm sure he maybe feels like that today. Yeah, he hasn't been feeling too well today, he told me earlier. So next we're going to have a look at Soap Dodger stuff. Soap Dodger, if you didn't know, he works on a lot of terrain projects. He's been in our terrain competitions for the past couple of years, and usually did very, very good results. I'm surprised he's not in the Space Hulk one, or maybe I just haven't noticed it. But he's continuing on with his infinity progress, and so what he does is he like 3D sculpts these pieces in his software, and then laser cuts MDF, and he builds it all together. So rather than purchasing Micro Art Studio stuff, I'm sure he maybe has some stuff, but he'd rather make it himself, and he usually does it with great success. And some of the stuff he does is excellent. I think he says problems I don't like. This is himself, because the only way to improve is something subjective as art. Yeah, that's a good.
I honestly think so. Dodger would find himself a really nice home with foreground.
Yeah. I like what he does as well. Is like he makes little stencils for himself. So, and then this is all the CAD drawings, and then the cut-offs of what eventually turned into this.
It's beautiful work. It really is.
I really like he seems to he makes it easier for himself to make the models, but also puts a lot of work into it. So but I think it's kind of cool to be able to say that, you know, if you ever put this down the tabletop and someone asks you, oh, where'd you get this from? They're like, oh, well, I made it. Because that looks professionally made. That looks like you could buy that. Awesome stuff.
I mean, some Dodger could technically
Sell
sell,
his,
yeah, you could sell that
sell his
stuff
products.
in like limited batches.
I'm sure he maybe does. Okay, we have a few like projects lined up here, so we're gonna have a look at Alfonso the Trader's Heaven and Earth Samurai project. We've seen this before, and I always love this cover image. I think this is a perfect cover image because it shows just the right amount of like detail and tease for the project's cover images. We get to see what he's been working on. The Takeda Second General. Where's Sam? We need him to fully pronounce these.
It's probably Takeda.
Takeda.
Manda, yes, I have been playing Fallout 76. I started playing last night. I got it installed and was like, I'll wait and, you know, I'll load up the opening page and wait for tomorrow to arrive, and then it just said play, and I was like, alright. And we went.
A quick download then.
Not Takeshi's Castle, Sundancer.
That's such a cool wee model, just like one just sitting down having a rest.
He's just chilling, judging his soldiers.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
That's what he looks like. He just looks like a little referee.
He'd occasionally hold that up and go foul.
Yeah. I know that'd be a fan, I would assume, but let's imagine it's just little he's judging a tennis match. Or bowls. Probably be bowls
Yeah.
back then. The amount of minis.
This project has got like
Huge.
It is huge, but I bet when he lays it all out on one big table, it looks absolutely stunning. And that's what I like to see sometimes, is like just a huge army. Doesn't matter if it's stupidly well painted or not.
This is the army of headless Pullman. They run into any army unfazed by fear.
They show no expressions.
Yeah.
Nothing will ruffle their hair, Lance.
Yeah. Oh, what's he drinking here?
Oh boy.
19. Nice Remy Martin, 1738. My.
That's a sophisticated drink for a sophisticated project. The glass size is like the proper. I need a green leatherback high chair just to sit and
Swivel it.
Yeah, with a cigar. I love the faces, like
Yeah, there's a lot of detail.
yeah.
in
Or
these
there's
faces.
a lot of perceived detail with the way he's doing the washing and the highlighting and stuff on it.
I like to just imagine that they're just heads of enemies just being chopped off.
Looking mildly confused at the whole thing.
That's quite impressive though, that he's going around. He's just painting all the heads individually.
Yep.
Like, there's some quirky heads here, but overall, the like actually getting to draw your own peoples in
I mean, he's doing this
without making them look too wacky.
He's doing this clearly just to get ahead of the project.
Yeah. I got it, John. I got it.
I give up.
Oh dear.
I just shouldn't make jokes because no one cares.
Oh, hold on a second. This is a little slideshow. Let's play it. Take off the music in case we get copy
Smashed.
struck.
Copy smashed.
This is gonna be fun. Wow.
I'm gonna sit for the next like 1 minute and 10 seconds. Just in time.
What do you think, Joe? Yeah, I think we should. I think we just put this video on repeat and then we can go home.
Yeah. I can go back to the vault.
These are some beautiful pictures as well. Really nice, and
He has a great eye for his miniatures, but he also has a great eye with his camera as well.
just layout in general.
And that's what sells a great looking army.
That looks so cool.
Yep.
Wow. That's a really nice setup. Really, really nice.
When am I doing my historical painting rant joke stream again? I have no idea.
What is this one? How do you make pavis? What is pavis? Oh, this is the shields. Is it? Let's have a little nosy. Don't know. What is that?
It was the
My
Cunat, I
goodness.
think.
Yeah. I like this here that, you know, if you're making tutorials, you make little videos of it.
Yep.
And since they're quite short and sweet, like 1 minute long, that's perfect for these projects. I think if you have like longer videos, some people tend to skip by them.
Yep.
I've noticed over the past 6 months that we've had the projects in, it's very difficult to get people to reply to your comments, reply to your projects, so it might be interesting to see if we can get maybe the guys behind the team to see if we can, I don't know, maybe see if we can encourage more comments in certain sections. If you guys have any ideas, to
Being
encourage-
controversial gets comments.
Yeah, that.
Like the emails I received for last week's Hobby Hangout.
Yeah. That, like, just seeing the scene there, that just shows you how simple it can be to set up a cool diorama for a nice little slideshow and photography project. That's awesome. Because it's so simple. That's pretty much what we do as well. Like, without giving too much away.
You've ruined
We
the
just-
magic, lads.
We just set up some trees in the background, and I think what he's done is he set up a black tile behind it, so like it'll darken the trees behind.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's so good. Thank you very much, Alfonso the Trader, for showing us your ways. So next we're going to have a look as well at this Space Hulk challenge by Jar Miniatures. This is an interesting one. The photography is not great. I'll just premise that a little bit. I think it could be improved, but that's just a personal opinion. But I think what he's doing is he's taking old Space Hulk corridors and making them 3D with just standard cardboard, I believe. Just cardboard
like.
you'd find maybe just in cereal boxes.
Mm.
But I like this idea, like, you know, if you just do these tiles, then at least, you know, you can just jigsaw them together, you can attach them all together.
Mm.
So they would all snap together like that. I wonder if it's going to be simple for, like, these corner bits.
Yeah.
That might be a little bit tricky. But he's going in and making his own resin. What are these called? Vents? Walls?
Bits.
Bits?
Gubbins.
Thank you, John.
Gubbins is the official.
I can always count on you for professional advice.
Yeah. Gubbins is the official term. Sorry, Jerry and I were having a conversation off.
How dare you? How dare you?
About a news thing that Jerry shared with me. I'm laughing at the people involved now.
Seems like the weather's not been great around the UK anyway. It's terrible up here. It's very cold.
I haven't noticed. It's actually kind of mild today.
So this is where I was talking about. I think the photography could just do a little bit of work. Just make sure that your stuff is in focus. But I think the premise of the project and the overall content is really interesting.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not a small project to get stuck into either. So I mean, there is a lot of effort, time, and money being put into this.
Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to see where this goes, especially the
oh my god, the old Terminators scroll up.
Yeah.
Wow.
The self-made terrain. I'm excited to see what happens with that. He must have had this box for quite some time.
Yeah.
Doing all of that is going to be quite a challenge. Well, not a challenge, but it's going to be very time oriented. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think people in the stream really listen to us anymore.
I'm okay with that.
They just seem to have like their own wee conversation, and we just ramble on.
Like
we're background music for the conversations.
Do you think next week, if we just record this episode and then we'll
just
have
put it out again?
We'll just put it out again.
Yeah.
Like, I think we'll be alright. Maybe we could just add in a few more things that we put in, like some joke remarks or something.
that are like really badly placed over the audio.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would notice. No.
Anyone tell the guys we muted them?
Nah.
Okay, let's go back to the front page and just see if anyone has any projects that they want to share with us before we continue. I think today we'll probably have another short wee stream because we have a lot of work to catch up on.
I am painting some very exciting stuff that I'm not being able to vlog, but people will probably see eventually.
Oh, so you can't talk about it?
No.
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about anything that's happening this week. It's interesting. It's a very interesting shift that's going on, but we can't really talk about it just yet. No more projects, so that's okay. Let's have a look. John, do you have anything here you'd like to have a look at?
I want to see this testing color changing paints if there's anything on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know a few people have asked me, and it might be the same person that's asked me before about them.
Let's see, anything else? I want to see this weird looking thing. And I say weird, I find it very interesting. Okay, so this is the color shift stuff by John Sock.
Suck up. We better go to oldest entries first here.
Did I mention the wedgie that Cherry will give you on my behalf? You do, Cherry. Why are we getting wedgies?
To be fair, if Jerry tries to give me a wedgie, I will have a cattle prod. He will not get away with it unharmed.
Jerry will have to bend down first.
No, he's tall enough so like I can just like prod him in the lower back and that'll...
No, that's what I mean. You'll have to bend down.
Oh
to
yeah,
reach,
you would actually.
to
Yeah,
reach your
yeah,
underpants.
yeah. That sounded wrong.
Badly phrased, but moving on.
Phrasing.
I wonder what these look like in like a video form, because the color shift stuff is very difficult to. Oh, here we go.
I wonder what this looks like
Here we
as a
go.
video. If we have a video.
Oh. So it kind of turns like a greyish brown color there.
Mm. It's still very difficult to see the actual color shift. It's potentially down to the application of it, whether you've airbrushed it or brush painted it. Because if you airbrush it, it's a lot more pronounced. In fact, if you want to give me a minute, I'll maybe go and...
Yeah, go for
I'll
it,
go and
John.
grab
Go
one.
for it. So we've done some experiments with the color shift paints as well. I don't think it comes off. Well, it kind of shifts here. It may just be the camera that doesn't pick it up very well. You guys can let us know as well. So, yeah. I think it also depends on what color you prime your minis first. So I think if you use a black primer, the color shift comes out better. I'm not sure, I haven't used it myself, but the best example that I've seen was actually Laughing Boy's Mythos miniatures, in which he painted the shells of the beetle. Do you remember those, John? It was
What's that?
Laughing Boy's Mythos miniatures that he painted with the color shift. It was the big beetles. It was the beetle shells.
I think so, yeah.
So they came out like purple and green. I think they were probably the best example of the color shift stuff that I've seen. So I was thinking of, because these are primed in green
Yeah.
to start with, and then using the color shift stuff. So I don't know if I think we experimented before. It was like it works better on black primer.
Yeah,
maybe?
we've been experimenting, and if you want...
Hold on, I'll bring it up to the big camera here.
It's not in focus, but you can see, even as I
You see it
orientate
change
that,
from-
you can see it change sort of a greeny tint to a purpley tint to a silver. You'll see it better on the cloak, actually. You can see how that works with the light shining on it. And that's... that one was primed black. And they do recommend on the box you prime with either a black or a white, because both those undercoat colours will change the effect that you get in the end. Like some of the paints that say they're sort of a pinkish tone, if you prime white, they come out completely orange or something instead. It's like really strange. So
You think it's like a chemical reaction?
no, I think it's just whatever the underlying colour is changes it a little bit.
It is interesting, though. I think it's down to a lot of experimentation. I don't think anyone has like fully got it right yet. But
Yeah, I think you have to have a certain level of understanding of the paint.
So next, looking at Tom D's 3D printing project. So I think this is quite interesting.
I love Tom D's 3D printing stuff.
Yeah, because Tom D sent through the vertibird body, didn't he?
Yes.
So
It's
nice.
still not painted, but I have it.
It's nice he's looking at this semi truck. Does he sculpt it all himself, or does he just bring in the models from the games?
I think he's using the game models, but then maybe refining them a little bit for an
Reducing
STL
the
file,
yeah, reducing polygon count and stuff.
or probably increasing it. Because I'd
Maybe.
say the in-game
Yeah.
models are quite a low poly.
Yeah, perhaps. Okay, manageable pieces for the print. Ah, cool. I didn't like this. This all baffles me because I don't do 3D. I did 3D years and years ago, but it wasn't to this kind of detail where like you have to think about how to print it. So like pulling off the doors and the bonnet and stuff. It's interesting. Those paint jobs are. That's very nice.
Mm-hmm. Stop blaming me for stuff, pun dancer. Shut up.
I like what's happening here with this Fallout stuff, because people are doing a lot of 3D printing themselves.
Getting some really creative stuff starting to come out. Now, I mean, we obviously don't know how much Wasteland Warfare is going to produce themselves over time.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that cars and stuff are in their lineup.
Still, I think, you know, if you're able to, I love this.
Mm-hmm.
I think it works well because if you're able to get your own toy cars, and if you smash them up, or if you buy smashed up toy cars, it's going to work anyway.
Yep.
For Fallout, because Fallout lends itself to that aesthetic.
Yep.
So yeah, I think what Tom D's working on is very interesting, and seeing
I love that APC as well.
seeing how it's all come together.
I love the APCs. When are you going to do a tank, Tom? When are you going to do one of those twin barrel 4-track things that they have in game? When you do one of those, send me a message.
That was very coy of you there, John.
It was very coy, wasn't it? It's about as coy as I get.
But he's even 3D printing his own cabin and stuff.
Now this is the point where he needs to get in touch with your other guy with the HDF stuff.
Soap Dodger, yes.
Soap Dodger, yeah. He needs to get in touch with Soap Dodger and say, hey Soapy, we could make some cabins together.
Yeah.
I'll give you the 3D printed parts that need to be 3D printed, and you can HDF the rest of it, and we'll make something magnificent. Do you want to build a cabin? No, should it be, do you want to build a wasteland? There, that works better.
It's very cool. It also, like,
No, Steve.
reduces that time of making terrain. I suppose, well, I don't know, the time it takes to print, probably a lot longer than it would take to scratch build these kind of things,
Yeah,
but
true.
it's probably a lot less effort. So,
Well, unless you're not particularly good at 3D printing and you manage
Yeah.
to screw it up every 5 minutes. I've seen a load of guys on the prop forums and stuff just sending in pictures of like what looks like an octopus beast made out of hair sat on the 3D printing bed, and it's like, what happened? And he's like, I have no idea. I left it for half an hour and it created this.
and some of these minis are really creepy looking.
That is like the worst kind of eel.
Awesome. And then I wanted to have a look at this Wasteland. Delves into the digital realm as well. So let me just copy this over. Carry it to like policeman food. So this is recently found Tinkercad and desire to make landships, thought I'd try something new. So this is his sculpting progress. Now, his first digital sculpt for Wasteland itself, I remade the Titanotron, which I originally sculpted by hand 4 years ago.
It's like Iron Giant versus that robot from Lost in Space.
I was going to say the robot from Wallace and Gromit.
Oh yeah.
Man, the attack saucers are really cute.
Are really cute. Don't you warn those or you'll want a bunch of them. Because you'll use them for like Conflict 47, paint them in German colours.
Now this is something that I don't know whether it's cute or like, what is it? Is it a boat?
It's a landship, Lance.
Is it?
It's a landship. The clue is in the title.
Okay. And I want one of these. These look like the Studio Ghibli stuff that one of the other members were working on. That looks so cool. It looks like a mother and like young one taking it out for a walk, doing training.
It's just now it's ruined. Pun Dancer just called it as Steampunk AT-AT. Yeah, now I see. No. Damn it.
What about Darth Vader
What about Darth Vader as an elephant robot? That is so funky. It's almost War of the Worlds again. It's just so odd.
Oh wow, they print out so well.
Someone's been learning from foreground. That's beautiful print quality.
So cute.
Mm-hmm. God,
Oh my god, it's so cute. I want them. Just need a heat ray, a turret, and second mini turret. Ah, they're so cool looking. That's awesome.
Can we make requests now? And can we have like the RMS Titanic as one of these? That'd be great.
Just look at this all day, John.
Yep.
Love it.
Did you hear about the whole Titanic 2 thing? Being built in China?
Oh no, I thought you were talking about the movie.
No,
No,
I'm talking about a full replica of the original ship.
it's not going to be a replica because it's being made in China. It's going to be weird. They're planning though to make a new shipyard in Belfast.
To service what? No one goes near Belfast with ships anymore. They only do it with oil rigs.
No, like to build. Make a new. I don't know. I heard this news like
Quick
years ago.
economy lesson, everybody. Our economy sucks, and no one is coming to the UK to build ships because it's cheaper everywhere else.
All right, John. Okay.
There you go. That is
Dream.
shipbuilding economy in 5 seconds flat.
Dream ruined. Okay, I think we'll have a little quick look at the recent community painting as well. And what are you painting now? And then what we'll do is we'll head off.
Yes,
to-
Jerry, exactly. They're building the new shipyard so they can immediately decommission it and turn it into another quarter of studios and
Hold on,
stuff
John.
for some Game of Thrones
Befitting
thing.
a berserker.
Of what?
Profiterole berserker is making. Look at that lighting effect.
Damn.
That's really nice.
That's freaking gorgeous.
Did he paint on the white? Kind of. The like maybe ink. That's really.
Yeah, it's like he's used a bit of like thin paint, inks and washes to get that,
Yeah.
that glow up. That's really beautiful.
There's a very shocked face there.
He's just yelling it's a trap. He's pretending to be Admiral whatever.
Admiral Akbar.
Aye.
I love these guys here. Unfortunately, in the movies, they never seem to do anything. But I know in the like backstory, they're epic.
Yeah, in the backstory they're completely badass, but in the original trilogy it's like, and they just stand there.
Yeah, they haven't done very much.
And then when they did show guards like that fighting in episode whatever it is,
Episode 2, or well,
the most recent,
Yeah.
the last one, when they started fighting, it was like, yeah, they're cool, but they have been killed by a novice and an idiot.
yeah.
Points if you can figure out which one's which.
Shots fired, John.
Mm.
And unlike stormtroopers, these will hit. These are cool. That's awesome work on the fur there. Really
Right.
nice.
Used airbrush at one point because got frustrating blending. Yes! It's actually in the chat about the Darth Vader, that's awesome.
Hey, if it works, if it makes it easier for yourself, why not? That's the whole point of painting. So you, instead of painting, use a little bit of airbrush on this. Yeah.
No issues there whatsoever.
Very nice. Okay, so Crossworks working on some bold action, I think. Yeah, bold action stuff. I think, from what I remember, I really like his painting style. If the image will load. Come on, Sick Ben. Work your magic. There we go.
The basing is great.
It really brings a lot more colour to it. Because imagine taking out those leaves.
Yeah, if you didn't have the leaves on it, it would be just like every other World War II basing. But that's really good.
Right.
Well, let's see them on the darker background. Because that makes them stand out a lot more. Yeah, that's really superb. I like how he's kept all the uniform colours and the skin and all very sort of faded, muted sort of colours.
Yeah, very saturated.
It's very
and then brought out the colour in the base.
Autumnal. That was too big a word for me today.
Autumnal.
Autumnal. Hurts.
Grace Flynn from Shadow Sea. Look at the base on that. That is beautiful woodwork.
Mm-hmm.
Even the leatherwork and the shoes, all of it, so good.
I've got to say, I wouldn't be adverse to wearing a pair of boots like that. It's like mid-thigh boots. Those are badass.
John, you'd be so fashionable.
I
walking
really
around
would.
strutting your work around the office.
That ribbon, though.
That's a ribbon that I can see getting irritating.
It's just so impractical when you're having in the middle of a sword fight.
You know, she's turning and it looks like really dramatic, but whenever she's standing still, she's just draped down and she's tripping over it.
Yeah. Or people are walking behind her and tripping, like making her fall over.
It's very thematic though. Very, very cool. Ugh, what is this? Finish the Soul Sovereign. This is interesting. Is this a Warhammer thing? Warhammer thing?
No, I think it's something else. I'm not sure.
Interesting. Very, very gooey.
Yep.
Okay, here we go, John. Here's some more. This is awesome photo work, by the way.
Yeah.
This is really nice. That's so cool there, looking at it.
Thematic images like that really do like make the wargaming hobby sort of stand alone and stand out a lot.
It's just a bunch of sand and pebbles. Makes all the difference. Awesome. I love this as well. Like, he's added a filter to this.
It's sort of desaturating it a bit.
Yeah, he's like added that blue filter. This looks like an Instagram post, but added the blue filter. It actually looks like
More sort of period
kinda
color.
Like looks like kind of like a Vietnam style.
Yeah,
kinda.
I get that. I get that feeling. Yeah.
Oh, look at that table.
That is so badass. That's friggin' gorgeous.
That's a table to be proud of.
Yeah.
Well done. It's awesome looking. Holy crap. That's amazing. Oldhammer Mordheim project, group models from 1986. Wow, those are really nice paintings as well.
You'd be remiss if you, well, you wouldn't be wrong if you thought those were more modern sculpts until you look really close at them.
Just because of the paint scheme?
Yeah, that paint scheme's fantastic. And you're so used to seeing the old sculpts in the old painting style, the old heavy metal style, which is just so bright and in your face.
You get to see some Yujing from Seldon 9. Yujing are very interesting because they've got this orange paint scheme, but because, I don't know, maybe it's the way they're, maybe it's the models themselves, I'm not sure. They always, I think I kind of like them.
Yeah.
I think it's Carlos' favorite squad to field. Oh, interesting. Here we go. Some drop zone terrain. I love this. I love seeing people. What I like to imagine is pretty much what you did over Halloween there, where you went into the shop. And so on Halloween we needed LED lights, and John decided it would be a good idea to go to the local pawn shop and buy 7 small children's toys,
Headbands.
and headbands, and that would be fine if you bought 1, maybe 2. But since you were dressed in combat, as well.
Yeah.
You went and bought 7. I can only imagine like people's thought process whenever they saw like a fully aged man picking up 7 of these little
I had
children's headbands.
I had my story ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My younger cousin is having a house party.
Oh, okay.
That was it. I don't have cousins
Yeah,
anywhere near me.
Because even if he said, "Oh, this is for a miniature wargaming project,"
You know, what's
they
this
would.
for?
They probably wouldn't
They would
believe
look
you.
even more confused and worried at you.
What is this? I thought this was like a progress painting here. Here we go. I think we saw this last week. So now this is finished. What do you think, John?
Very little to say on it that would be polite, but at the same time, it is superb work. The sheen on the top of the hair where it's combed
There,
away
yeah.
from itself, that's fantastic. I can't draw too much attention to the rest of it. I just can't.
Suddenly get images of this. Yeah. There's Darth Vader that we've seen previously. Oh, a duplicate post. So let's have a little refresh of this. Let's see if anything's new. Nope. Let's have a look at the very top. Oh, so a friend of mine, he wrote this Tales from the Loop, Witchcraft and Wizardry, that we've been playing recently. So it's using the Tales from the Loop rules. So if you've any interest in Harry Potter, the universe around it, and want to get into a role-playing situation with using those characters in mind, have a look at that, and it's very interesting. Here's Amanda's work. I saw it in the chat there. I wanted to see. It always makes me giggle looking at that. So here's all the test results as well from these color shift stuff. Is there any one that I think this is the green stuff that we were looking at earlier. The green and the purple kind of works.
See, this should be more than just a project. I mean, this is a really fantastic reference for anyone that's wanting to buy these paint sets. Because we've done the exact same thing, Manda. The problem is now that we've lost all the miniatures we tested it on. So we don't know what's paired with what anymore.
So here's the Pan-Oceania stuff that's been used on it. If the GIF will probably show a lot better. Oh yeah, you can see that.
You do see the change in it a bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah. This is the problem with the color shift stuff. I think if you want to show it off online, it doesn't work very well. So it's very difficult for us, particularly to review it.
You'd almost have to, for the color shift, you'd almost have to have a light coming from completely one side of the model, so that you're seeing the shift as it's changing into the darker part.
Yeah.
Perhaps. I mean, if Manda would be able to experiment with that herself and find out, there's Joan of Arc. I remember painting one of those and making me cry.
So yeah, while these are fantastic paint jobs, I don't think just normal photography works quite well for the color shift stuff.
As she says, the GIFs have a low color depth too. So
yeah, which is unfortunate. Yeah, but this is a cool experiment. You can see here the pink kind of works quite well a little bit. It's very difficult to show off.
I definitely think using a single light or lower level light would probably show it off better. I'm not sure. Be worth playing with.
Yeah, or maybe like we get a really high res camera and have the camera move, not the model.
Yeah, I guess that.
If you had the camera on a slider and move it while focused on the model, it would probably show it off better rather than turning the model.
Possibly.
But yeah, Overlord has gotten some good review. Anyway, that's all from Hobby Hangout this week. It was a short one. We've got a lot of work to be going on in the studio and online as well. We've the guys who posted the suggestions, I think Loner, I'm going to pass that on to the team as well. So they were talking about like during the projects for the Space Hulk stuff. The background, there was a clickable link. So, and I understand that fully because I do that. I do the same. So if I want to click to an active window, say if Spotify is open or something, I want to click to that, I'll click the background. Whereas it always linked to one of the Space Hulk stuff. So I get that. I thought you were talking about this here recently, which I didn't think would bother anyone. It shouldn't, but it's just this background thing. But yeah, thank you very much for everyone joining this week. Hopefully Ben will be better next week to join us again. I think next week as well, Thomas Menes is going to be joining us in the studio too.
He is.
So that should be quite interesting. Hopefully he'll bring his project along. I don't know why he's here. I assume it's for the Space Hulk project.
He's probably kicking me out of my office.
Maybe, yeah. Who knows? I've just been told to host him, so that's all I know. But yeah, as people have been saying in the chat, feel free to come across to beastofwar.com, join us on backstage free trial to see all of our painting tutorials and all of the good stuff in the background as well. And you can buy merch as well. We have, hopefully in the next coming weeks, well, in the new year anyway, we'll have new merchandise to show off as well. I'm very excited about that. But that's all from us this week. Thank you very much, John, for joining me. I'm going to go and do some editing of Let's Plays.
Awesome. I'm going to paint something.
Yay!
Probably.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.